a slight addition to the programme. Would you welcome, please, she's the advocate that we heard of talking about earlier on, and she was also a guest speaker here one year, and when she was that guest speaker, she revealed that she too was a Bessborough baby. Ladies and gentlemen, Patricia Carey.
Thanks very much, Taoiseach, councillors, senators, TDs, and the wonderful people of Bessborough. I think it's great today. It's the first day, I think, that almost everyone who spoke is a Bessborough baby. So cheers for the Bessborough babies. So I'm 1971, in case anyone's asking. No, 71, not 81. Just a baby. I'm delighted to be here. Carmel asked me at short notice, and I just want to again pay tribute to Carmel and to Christy. I spend a lot of the time going around the country, going to various events and memorials and commemorative events. This, for obvious reasons, when I get to the gate of Bessborough, there is a sinking feeling, there is that long drive, there is that ominous nature of what were those women thinking and feeling from the 1920s, and it's really important to remember that Bessborough only closed in 1998. Let that sink in, 1998. So this is a story written, and I'm going to read it as the person wrote it. My mother entered Bessborough at the age of 18 in 1961, having become pregnant. She is the eldest of 6 children who lost their mother at the age of 39. My mother, being the eldest at 13, then took on the role of mother to her 5 younger siblings. Money was scarce and education was minimal. Once she could no longer hide her pregnancy, she was moved in with an aunt and uncle in Cork City. And in May 1961, she was taken to Bessborough. And I think those words, that she was taken to this place. She was stripped of her clothes, her identity and her dignity. Her clothes, her identity and her dignity. And she worked hard scrubbing the floors and remembers having to stand and hush as a nun passed by and bow her head with respect. The girls were not allowed to talk to each other whatsoever. She then gave birth on the 13th of August 1961 to a baby boy. She never got to see him. She never touched him or never held him. She didn't get to say hello or goodbye. They never gave her the opportunity. She didn't even get to kiss him. They told her that her baby was dead. They took him and they never mentioned it again. My mum stayed incarcerated until her aunt paid £100, that's a lot of money, in September to get her out. And she then went to London, as PJ said, where lots of women left this country, where she made a life for herself and went on to have my sister in 1973 and myself in 1975. My father knew nothing of the baby born here. The shame and wonder never leaves. The shame of the pregnancy and the wonder of where the little baby she carried for 9 months. Did he in fact die or was he taken? There was no one who could answer those questions until a visit in the 1980s whereby the nun had no answers as to where my mum's baby is buried. Again in the 90s she went and she got the same silence. Mum told my sister and I of her time here when we were 15 and 16. I have been back many times to the convent to ask questions of the nuns myself. Their response was that maybe her family came from Killarney and took the baby home to bury him, or maybe he was buried by a member of her family. They even suggested that she may have forgotten what happened to him. I went to Detective Sean Heaney in Cork City and requested that I wanted to open a missing persons file because to us, the baby is missing, but they couldn't assist us because on paper he didn't exist and therefore there was no missing person. He was not recorded because apparently he was stillborn. He was not registered anywhere. So where did they bury my tiny little brother? I've been to St. Joseph's Cemetery and more in the area and sifted through the enormous ledgers. Nothing is recorded. I placed a plaque here by the folly for my mother to visit when we come home to Cork, which brings her much peace. For my lovely mum, coming to these commemorations has been a wonderful chance to acknowledge her baby and what went on here. These mothers, children and babies who lie among us, among these grounds, deserve better. They deserve acknowledgement. They deserve a dignified burial, which the Church and State to date has denied them. The Church and State want us to back down and forget, but we can't forget. We won't forget. My mother is now too unwell to travel, so I am here. However, I do not feel alone, because we are all here for the same reason, to show our respect to the girls, the women and the babies. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.